Hi, it's Miss Lisa from the St. Paris Public Library. Today is Thursday and it's our STEM activity today. Today we're going to make cardboard shooters. This is what our STEM activity is today. And if you put your little piece of cardboard on top there, pull your shooter back, drop your piece down in there and shoot it. So this is what we're going to make today. So you're going to need some supplies. You're going to need the flap off of a cardboard box. So like these little things right here, this is what you're going to need. I'm not going to cut up this perfectly good box because I have some that I've saved. So this is what you're going to use. It's like a big piece of cardboard. You want it to be kind of sturdy. You can't use a cereal box for this activity. It actually has to be like a piece of corrugated cardboard. That's the kind that has the little holes in it. And from this piece of cardboard, you're going to cut 3 pieces. 2 pieces, well, all 3 pieces are 4 inches wide. So you're going to need a piece of cardboard, a ruler, a pencil or a pen or something to mark it with, and then you're going to need something to cut your cardboard with. Now I have these heavy duty sturdy cardboard scissors. I also have this cardboard cutter knife, but you could use a regular knife with adult supervision, or you can use an X-Acto knife or something like that. Be careful using regular scissors because the cardboard is pretty tough and it might break your handles off. So that's what you're going to need to do this activity. And now we're going to get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut 3 pieces of this cardboard. You want to find the straight edge, which would be this outside edge. So I'm going to measure 4 inches from the end. So take my ruler and my pen and mark 4 inches from the end. And I'm going to mark another 4-inch one from that one and another 4-inch one from that one. Then I'm going to go on the other side, or at the top part of it, go to the same straight edge that you started on, mark 4 inches, and then you should be able to line up your 4-inch marks and make a line. It's easier to cut if you do that. 4 inches. And 4 inches. All right, here we go. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 sections that are 4 inches wide. So now I'm going to cut these apart. All right, I have 3 pieces of cardboard from that big piece that are 4 inches wide. Now I need 2 of them to be 4 inches by 4 inches square. So I'm going to pick out the best 2. This one's kind of got a kink in it, so I'm going to pick out this one and this one. And from the end, I'm going to measure 4 inches and mark it on both sides, just kind of like you did the last time. And then draw a line so it would be easier to cut. Draw your line. Now I'm going to cut these. If you're going to do STEM activities at home, invest in a cardboard cutter. Good, decent cardboard cutter that are safe for your kids to use. I bought these online. These are cardboard knives. These are awesome. I love these things. Okay, so I have 2 squares and I have 1 long one. All right. So with one of the squares, I need to cut a hole in the center. I don't know if you can see this. Let me take my rubber bands off. This one, the top one, has a hole in the top of it. So I need to cut a square out of the center. So I'm going to lay my ruler on there and I'm going to go all the way around. Just match up the sides like this and then draw around there like that. So it has, you end up with line squares on there. Then you're going to cut out that center hole. Okay, so I cut the center out of one of the holes. The other one's gonna stay just like this, and the other one has a hole in it, okay? Now we're gonna move on to this piece. We need to make a T like this, all right? But we don't wanna cut it as short as these because we want it to come out. Part of it is gonna stay out here as a handle, and then the rest of it needs to go inside to push out your piece of cardboard, okay? So we're going to take this piece and we're gonna take a ruler and we're gonna measure 4 inches. We're gonna even it up with the side and then go 4 inches right here, and then we're gonna trace around it. And that will give us on both sides, 1 on both sides, and then that gives you the T that you need to cut out. You are cutting out the side pieces. You are going to use them, so don't damage them when you cut them out. There's my T. There's my 2 strips. Now I have like a little flappy thing right here, so I'm going to cut that off. I'm just going to trim that edge off, so it's because I really don't need it to be that big, but I do need a good size T, so don't cut too much of it off like that. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue it together. Now I use crafter's glue, the tacky craft glue, only because I feel like it'll hold up better with the crafts and the activities that I do, and this is what the kind of glue that I use the most. But you can use Elmer's glue or whatever. Whatever glue you use, it has to sit and dry, okay? If you don't let it dry, it won't hold up well. So you're gonna start with your solid square, okay? You should have a solid square, a square with a square in it, a T, and the 2 strips that you cut out of this piece right here, okay? So you're gonna start with the solid square, and you're gonna glue these 2 squares. You're gonna glue these 2 squares on either side of this solid square, even with the edges, so it leaves a strip in the middle. So don't be shy with your glue, but don't use a whole gob on there because you don't want to have glue everywhere. And you don't want it to take 2 days to dry. So just put some glue on there and stick it on like that. Like that. Okay. Then press it down a little bit so it gets good and stuck there. Then put some glue on top of it like that. And then you're going to take your square one, and you're going to put it on top like that and push it down so it sticks good. Now don't push too hard on the center pieces right here where there's nothing under there, because you don't want to mash that cardboard out. So just push it so that it's sticking with the glue. All right, so now you're going to have to let it sit and dry. All right, so you've let your square sit and dry, and it should be nice and solid like that. Now the one end that your T is going to go in, you just go like this and push it in there. Make sure it fits in there. Now mine is kind of snug in there. It's kind of tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to smash down the plunger part. Leave this part. Don't do anything to this part. Just mash this down a little bit. And if you feel it, you're going to feel the little holes in the corrugated cardboard is going to smash down. So it should slide through there a little bit better. So let's try that. Yep. So it slides through a lot better like that. Okay. So it kind of gets hung on this one a little bit. So this goes in like this. And it gets hung right here a little bit. So since my glue is dry, I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to put it underneath of that cardboard just a little bit and pull it up a little bit so that it kind of goes a little bit humpy like that. And then it will like go right straight through there. Okay. So now you're going to take your, find a piece of leftover cardboard Cut a little square out. You can cut hearts out, you can cut squares, you can cut out whatever you want. Take your fingers and mash down the corrugated so that it's kind of flat. Put your plunger in there, like that, like this. Take your rubber bands, put one on both sides. It needs to be a pretty snug fit. Now, not too tight so that you can't pull it out, but the rubber bands need to be fairly tight. But these broccoli vegetable rubber bands worked great. Take your little shooter, lay it on top of your plunger, pull your plunger back, shake it a little bit so it drops down in there, and let her go. Woo! And that thing will shoot pretty far too. So I hope you had fun today with the STEM activity. If you have any questions, let me know. See you later.